Okay. Oh, hold up. Perfection! Look at that! Wait. Alright. Perfect! Let's begin. Alright, guys, my name is Chico Miller. Welcome back to the Chico Show today. It's gonna be another installment of the Rewrite series. Now, you guys haven't necessarily seen this series for a while, so I just thought that, I had this new idea. Might as well execute it with the return of the Rewrite series. Today, for the Rewrite series, we will be talking about the new Star Wars Trilogy. Because I got some problems with the Rise of Skywalker, some new problems that just came up with The Force Awakens, as well as, drumroll please, some problems with The Last Jedi! Yeah! But before we begin, guys, if you are fans of the Star Wars series, then go ahead and subscribe, because I might actually cover Star Wars later on. Maybe be some Star Wars theories, or some Star Wars death battles, maybe some ShowaBattles, another Rewrite series maybe, on like a TV show or something made by Star Wars. But yeah, let me know what you all think about that. Subscribe if you are a fan of Star Wars, because I love the movies as well as the TV shows. But yeah, let's go ahead and start this Rewrite series, or start this episode with The Force Awakens. Now, The Force Awakens I have no problems with. The Force Awakens, the Force Awakens is actually the best movie within the entire new Star Wars trilogy. The problem is, though, is that like later on, when you have the continuity of The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, we will get to you, Rise of Skywalker. You just sit over there. Also, by the way, spoilers for The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. If you haven't seen these movies, I'm sorry. This is possibly your fault for not seeing those movies yet. But yeah, okay, so The Force Awakens. Let's talk about this. The removal of the Knights of Ren. Now, you may be wondering, Jacob, but Jacob, the Knights of Ren are fine in the new trilogy, or like not in the new trilogy, but like in the Force Awakens. What's the problem with the Knights of Ren? The problem with the Knights of Ren is that later on they mean nothing, because while yes they were a great concept in the Force Awakens, the Knights of Ren became more useless and forgotten later on within this trilogy. In The Last Jedi, they were not present and seemed forgotten about. Like, seriously, like, no mention whatsoever of these guys. We don't get to see them at all during The Last Jedi. They just don't show up. They're not even mentioned. There's not even like a little visual or like talkative Easter egg with the Knights of Ren. In the Rise of Skywalker, they didn't feel like a threat at all. They felt more forced, and they're just Jedi Knights, but with different weapons, no Force abilities, which sucks. Now, of course, before all you comic book Star Wars readers be like, actually, the Knights of Ren actually do have the Force, or you're like, well, actually, they are Jedi Knights, but the problem is, though, is that, like, they're evil. And it's just like, that's not interesting. We've had Jedi Knights that were evil. Look at the dark side. But yeah, now what would the removal of the Knights of Ren accomplish to make the movie slash trilogy better? Well, first of all, it would make Kylo Ren a more powerful, a more of a threat. It would also give him a more powerful presence within this new trilogy, because the fact that like originally in this new trilogy it wasn't just, oh, I'm sorry, here, let me fix this angle for you. I'm sorry about that, audience. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Originally within the Force Awakens, it was Kylo Ren and also the Knights of Ren that helped, that pretty much took down Luke Skywalker's new Jedi temple that he created, and also slaughtered all the new Padawan or Jedi people that were being trained and whatnot. And if we get rid of the Knights of Ren, then this would make Kylo Ren more impressive, because it would give him this presence of like, he took down all these Padawan by himself. And like while yes, he might need some help with, with just like explosives on the Jedi temple. Let me just mind you, okay? He held a ship in the air. In the, I want to say it's in the Rise of Skywalker. He literally held up he held a ship up in the air with his force. So yeah, I mean, like, if anything, he can probably destroy a Jedi temple with ease. But of course, moving on. This also gets rid of a empty threat. Like I said earlier on in this video, the Knights of Ren become more useless and forgotten later on in the trilogy. Let me just change this nice big old zoom here for you guys again. Sorry about all this. Let's just move on. And it also fixes the whole continuity flow, because, like I said earlier, useless and forgotten later on. Yeah. Let's continue to The Last Jedi. Now, one of these I want to talk about, which is which is number 4 for my changes, which is Rose the Spy. This idea was actually is not necessarily my idea, but it is an idea that I agree with. Essentially, instead of having Rose being a part of the I want to say it's the rebellion. Yeah, instead of Rose being a part of the rebellion, she should instead be this First Order spy, which would then make Rose more important than just being some useless love interest. Last Jedi has a lot of hate, and Rose is just one of those things. She was memed hard. I don't like her. I don't think anyone else likes her, so yeah. But yeah, Rose. About Rose the Spy. If you want to know more about this, then I suggest you watch Nando V Movies' video on this, where he essentially explains about Rose being the spy for the First Order or whatnot. I will actually link that in the eye icon on the upper right part of your screen. If you click on the eye icon, you get to watch that video and many other videos or playlists. But yeah, let's go and move on to actually the first change on this list, which is Luke Skywalker and his reaction to his lightsaber. If you all don't know, within the Last Jedi. And of course, Mark Hamill actually said this himself. Luke Skywalker feels out of character. He doesn't necessarily feel like Luke Skywalker. He just feels like this old, hopeless boomer who has knowledge and skills that could help out Leia and even save Han from death at the hands of Kylo Ren. But he just decides to do absolutely nothing about it. Which like I don't mind about the whole idea about how he's like a retired Jedi knight or whatnot. Which is like I don't mind. Like I actually do like that idea somewhat. But I mean, the way that they just like went about it was like making his personality, he's just so out of character. So in this rewrite, we will change Luke from being that to being a nostalgic, hopeful old man. Like instead of feeling hopeless and lost, he's more nostalgic about the lightsaber. He's more hopeful about the situations. Instead of, just like looking at the lightsaber and tossing it over for his head after Rey handing it to him, he more looks at it with like nostalgia, and it's like my old lightsaber. I remember this thing, and just you get to feel that nostalgia as he's feeling it, more or less. And also like he's also very, very sad about it because of, like with that lightsaber, it also reminds him of like the bad times while also reminding him of the good times. Now, how this change make the movie or the trilogy better? Well, this makes Luke Skywalker feel like Luke Skywalker. Like I said before, Mark Hamill will stated to himself that Luke Skywalker doesn't necessarily feel like Luke Skywalker. And also, if you all remember, back during that time of when The Last Jedi was released, people hated this. People hated this movie. It split the Star Wars community by like a big margin, okay? Because you had the like 2/3 of the whole Star Wars community hating this movie. Then you had this 1/3 that was like, oh, I actually really do like it. I think it's one of the best Star Wars movies. And it's like, no, you're wrong. I mean, like, if you think about it, yeah, and like, they would actually get rid of like a lot of the hate from this movie, which is, of course, a second point I want to bring up. Because I remember we're actually hearing about this. I remember we're hearing about the fact that like fans created this entire like funding page just to have the movie like remade to where Luke Skywalker is actually Luke Skywalker and he doesn't die. And it's like, did you just, what in the world? I mean, like, I could kind of see why they would do it, but at the same time, I kind of felt like it was ridiculous. And also another point I want to bring up is that this will make his death much more meaningful, sad, and epic because the fact that like he's not only Luke Skywalker dying, but he feels like Luke Skywalker dying. You feel the fact that this is Luke Skywalker, a character that you grew up watching as a kid, dying in front of your face. That would make it much more sad. And also have him show up in the fight. Don't make him do this like forced ghost apparition on that planet. Actually have him show up at the fight. Ugh. But yeah, moving on to I want to say one of the most important things you guys might have taken note of: the first after credit scene within any Star Wars movie. Now, I've actually watched every Star Wars movie. I've watched the original trilogy. I've seen the prequel trilogy, and of course, this new sequel trilogy. This new sequel trilogy. There we go. And God is I don't like how they were like teasing the Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so like give you like a nice little explanation here, while also talking about the importance of Snoke, is that originally in the Rise of Skywalker, Kylo Ren travels to this planet, and underneath this floating Jedi temple, apparently, he finds this entire like this entire setup where he finds multiple bodies of Snoke, and he meets Emperor Palpatine for the first time. This not only ruins the mystery of, oh, who is Snoke, but it also gives us a disappointing villain in the form of Palpatine's return. And I actually felt like this was a very disappointing thing, because at first, when I first saw the trailer for the Rise of Skywalker, I was like, oh, dude, Emperor Palpatine's back. Let's go! And then I saw Emperor Palpatine in the movie, and I was just sat there thinking about it, and I was just like, this is actually very dumb. I hate this. So how do we change that? How do we change that entire disappointment? Well, in this after credit scene, which is the first one, we will not only reveal the clone tanks, because now that I think about it, I actually like the whole idea of the clone tanks and how like multiple bodies of Snoke. We reveal the clone tanks, but we also have Snoke return by waking up in a new cloned body. This not only so how does this make the trilogy or the movie better in a way? Well, this removes Palpatine, which gets rid of all sorts of conclusions or like confusion. This also brings back Snoke and makes him way more interesting, because because a character like this, we never necessarily had a clone that was Force sensitive before. So if we decided to actually keep Snoke within this whole entire trilogy and have him be a clone, this would make Snoke way more interesting, and the mystery would change from, oh, who is Snoke, to who is the clone of Snoke. And this will also bring back the whole original description of the Star Wars lore, which is, and I quote George Lucas, Star Wars is like poetry, it rhymes. But wait a minute, what is rhyming with the whole Snoke coming back? Well, if you remember from Star Wars Episode 3, I want to say it's the Return of the Jedi. No, that's, oh yeah, the Empire Strikes. I can't remember. I'm sorry, I cannot remember when the third like prequel movie was. But yeah, within that movie, the Emperor Palpatine was like, "Have you heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise?" And about how like Darth Plagueis learned how to cheat death in a way by essentially transferring his consciousness or his essence into another body, and therefore coming back each and every time. Well, yes, the Rise of Skywalker does touch on that a little bit. They don't necessarily go anywhere with it. They just keep it where it is, and it's just stuck there. So let's have that be more interesting. Let's have it be like, oh, Snoke found some like found notes that were made by Emperor Palpatine. It was about how like he could like come back in like a different body, and it's like, yes, this it's time that I make my return, and starts making clones of his body. So yeah, that would actually make Snoke a lot more interesting, and it would actually make Snoke much more fun. Yeah. So yeah, looking at this video, it is 20 minutes and 1 second long. Dear Lord, we're going to stop this video right here with part 2 talking about the Rise of Skywalker. Sorry for this I'm sorry about this video being so long. I didn't know that it would be this long. So, for all you lovely people out there, if you are new to this channel, make sure that you do subscribe, tap that notification bell to be notified of new videos. Use the phone, smash on that like button if you did like this video, that is, and of course leave a comment down below in the comment section telling me your thoughts and opinions about this whole about this first part within the new Star Wars Trilogy rewrite. Anyways, my name is Jacob Miller, and next time on the Star Wars series, you will be getting part 2 coming next Friday. Bibiach!